who are his. So in the 3 healing episodes this morning, or narratives, we're going to see something remarkable. First, Jesus heals, as we just saw, a leper, someone who in Jewish culture would have been seen as physically and spiritually unclean. Okay, so someone who's unclean. Secondly, Jesus heals a centurion servant. That would be a Gentile, right? So he's not a Jew. He would have been someone who is ethnically outcast. Okay? So he would have been considered unclean and outside of the people of God. And then third, Jesus heals a woman. We'll see Peter, his mother-in-law, someone who at that time would have been seen as culturally marginalized. So not only is Jesus here demonstrating to us his authority over disease, but also that the only requirement for salvation is faith. It doesn't depend on status, ethnicity, wealth, position, good works, or power, but faith alone in Jesus Christ alone as your Savior and Lord. We see here, though, that Jesus sees, hears, and cares for the marginalized. In many ways, we see in this passage the beginning of the fulfillment of God's promise to Abraham in Genesis 12 and 15, where God promised Abraham that in him all the nations of the earth would be blessed, and that his offspring would be as many as the stars in the sky, and that God would be God to him and his offspring after him. And we see here the beginning of the fulfillment of this promise through Abraham's offspring par excellence, Jesus, right? And it's going to be more fully realized at the cross. These healings would have been stunning to the Jews at that time. Who in the crowd, who would have thought that salvation was really only for the Jews and was merited by their obedience to the Old Testament law. Yet we see in this passage that Jesus continues to challenge their expectations of the kingdom of heaven and the nature of the Messiah.